is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the stream. I see a lot of familiar faces in the chat. Guys, let me know if the audio is good. Let me know if everything sounds right. I'm going to get the music to a correct level here. So Bitcoin is now breaking out above 12,000. We're coming up on that next resistance, which is just below 12,500. We're going to get started here in a second. Just going to make sure it's all working well. So I haven't done a stream in a long time, trying to get this setup right. Sorry, guys. All right, so we're good. So I'm actually using the Cryptowatch desktop app right now. Lets you do custom layouts, pretty cool. Sorry about that. My setup is all whack, but here we go, guys. So Bitcoin is currently breaking out above 12,000. And of course, the next resistance is coming in, you know, around 12,500, just below 12,500. If we're zooming out here and we go back to the last major resistance, it's actually sitting closer to 13K actually. Other than 12.5, it's sitting closer to 13K. And what I find most interesting right now is if you go to the weekly chart, actually we'll just go to this chart here. If you go to the weekly chart and you just look at the Bitcoin chart and where we are right now, check this out, guys. I mean, historically for Bitcoin, look at this. Historically, guys, we are like, we're making records here. This is going to be the 7th. If this weekly candle closes above 12,000, this will be the 7th weekly candle close in Bitcoin history above 12K. Check it out, guys. We have what, 1, 2. So if you're looking at this area right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weekly candle closes above 12K. And this would be literally the 7th in history for Bitcoin. So if you're looking at the weekly chart like this, I know it looks weird, but I like to just look at this viewpoint because we are coming up on some record levels here for Bitcoin. And if we break above 12.5, that is going to be pretty unbelievable to see because that'll be the first major higher high. Of course, we already created a slightly higher high here, but that'll be the first major higher high we've seen for Bitcoin in a very long time. So things are getting extremely interesting for the price of Bitcoin. Something else I want to mention here is that we are actually pretty much right on track with the previous cycle at this point. You know, there's a lot of theories out there. There's a lot of theories about people saying, you know, there's like lengthening cycles for Bitcoin, like the cycles are going to get longer and whatnot. But if you're looking at history, you can see that it took about 1,240 days or so to break the all-time high. And we're actually less than 200 days away from that. So 1,240, and we're like less than 200 days away from meeting that time requirement for Bitcoin. And if we bring up the 21-week EMA, which in the last bull cycle, the 21-week EMA was really the best indicator, you know, the best support indicator. It was the 21-week EMA was by far the best entry level for Bitcoin for the entire bull market, right? And it was acting as a resistance indicator in the bear market, a support indicator in the bull market, also a resistance indicator in the bear market here in 2018. And it's a pretty reliable indicator. We've actually been finding support off of it for many months now, the blue 21-week EMA. So if we just hold this level, guys, if we hold the 21-week EMA just like the last bull market, then very likely what's going to happen is we're going to actually end up breaking out, or at least touching the all-time high, pretty much around the exact same time period as we did the last time, and the cycles would be pretty much the same, pretty darn close at least, right? So that is going to be something you need to watch out for. If you're looking for entries for Bitcoin moving forward, If you're looking for good entries, look for the 21-week EMA, right? If things remain bullish, right? If everything works out well with the global markets and Bitcoin remains bullish, that blue 21-week EMA is going to be that dip buy opportunity. That's going to be your entry levels moving forward if things work out well. I'm telling you guys, you're going to want to buy right along that moving average, 21-week EMA. What's up, guys? So I've just been talking for a few minutes. Going to check chat real quick. I don't think I've actually read any chat yet. Guys, let me know if the audio is good. Let me know if the music is okay, because I actually can't hear it at the moment. So let me know if the levels are good. Let's go through chat real quick. Guys, definitely hit that like button if you haven't already. Let's get this stream boosted. There's actually not that many Bitcoin streams on right now. Seems like audio is good. Just checking chat. I see a lot of familiar faces. There's a lot of comments already. I'm not going to be able to get to all of these yet. Bitcoin needs some volume. A lot of people have been saying that. A lot of people have been saying that Bitcoin needs volume right now, which could be true, but we'll see, right? If we get like a real breakout here, if we get above, 12.5, maybe we will get that volume. We'll see. We're gonna analyze the lower time frames here soon. Just checking chat real quick. Are you using the 3 monitor setup? Yeah, guys, I'm actually, well, I have all 3 monitors on right now. I have this one right here, the Windows, and these 2 screens here. So I have the live stream set up here, chart right here, and I have the desktop app and YouTube pulled up on my other screen right now. Somebody said there's no music. Maybe it's just a little too low. I mean, it's there. So let's check out Bitcoin on the daily here. So now we actually had enough momentum to break above 12K to get through that previous resistance box from August. In August, we had multiple areas of rejection just below 12,100, 12,086, right? We came back up and we actually just, over the past day or two, just smashed right through it. What didn't really cause all too much of a problem except for that last daily candle there, which is, showing that Bitcoin does have a lot of interest, momentum, and demand, right? There was enough demand to just sort of blow past that resistance, which is pretty cool. People are saying the sound is good, the sound is there, no music. I'm pretty sure you guys can hear it, right? You guys should be able to hear it at least. Yeah, so things are looking pretty good overall. We also have Ethereum now, Ethereum has been stalling for a while, getting a lot of sideways action. Ethereum was not following Bitcoin, right? Ethereum was trading sideways because if you're looking at the Bitcoin dominance, you can see that during the DeFi hype, right? The DeFi hype dragged Bitcoin dominance down, right? What are we looking at, like August or April to July? April to July. Or I guess that was before then. What am I looking at now? Well, I guess the DeFi hype was a little bit more recent, but still, the DeFi hype dragged Bitcoin dominance down, and recently we were able to get that dominance to come back. So altcoins have been suffering a lot recently, seeing a lot of sell-offs, a lot of focus on Bitcoin recently. But it seems like right now Ethereum could potentially, if Bitcoin does consolidate soon, right? Depending on where we actually top out, there is no confirmed top just yet. There's no, well, at least on the daily chart, there's no actual top confirmed. So we'll see how far Bitcoin actually goes. Whenever we start to consolidate, trade sideways, then Ethereum might see a pop to the upside and start to follow Bitcoin. And this resistance box that you're looking at right here is showing a pretty historic area of resistance, back from 2017 bull market. Also, this area where we found support here in 2018, right? So this is like such a key level for Ethereum. And Ethereum and Bitcoin are kind of in a different spot. So if we're looking at this, we found a lot of support, resistance in this range, and we just found resistance again for Ethereum in this range. And this is basically, sometimes Ethereum leads breakouts, sometimes Bitcoin leads breakouts. Obviously, right now, Bitcoin is totally leading the market, but Ethereum might be lagging behind right now, but most likely once Bitcoin consolidates, Ethereum will have a chance to retest this resistance box and try to push back towards that $450 to $500 level, right? And Ethereum's going to be leading the alts, right? So whenever Ethereum starts to move, that's likely a signal that a lot of the smaller alts are probably going to start moving as well. Some people are saying that I need to turn the music up, I guess. I don't know. What's up, Robert? Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while, guys. But yeah, so Ethereum is pretty much at the point where if we start to break out, right, if we start to get above this resistance, then that's going to confirm that we are really in a bull market, right? This is, the definition of a bull market, which is basically just a sustained increase in price over time. A bull market doesn't necessarily mean that you have to break the all-time high. A bull market can just mean that you're just trending up for a long period, right? And if Ethereum starts to break above 500, well, I would call that a bull market, right? Because that would be getting above a major resistance from 2017, 2018, or 2019. And if we get above that level, that is basically a pivot, a pivot out from this, channel out. Something we haven't done in a really, really long time. And it's been a couple of years now since we actually tested above 500. So if Ethereum gets above 500, that is a confirmed bull market for Ethereum. At least in my book. By definition, it is. Anthony coming in with a 229 euros mission to Mars. Mission to Mars. Well, at this point, guys, the moon is basically 20K. So if Bitcoin, we're mooning, right? But if Bitcoin hits 20K, we've reached the moon. If you get above 20K, then you're headed to another planet, right? Then you're starting to go towards Mars, whatever. Once Bitcoin hits 20K, it's officially the moon. And then from there, we'll see. What's up, guys? Just looking at chat. You guys, hit that like button. We're almost at 100 likes. We need 100 likes. If we hit 100 likes, maybe Bitcoin will go up another $100. So someone's asking about Chainlink. So Chainlink is also in a pretty interesting spot. If we're looking at Chainlink right now on the daily chart, we can see that we are beginning to find a little bit of support here, right? A little bit of a bounce now, right? We do see that support's coming in for some of the alts. Ethereum is trying to push up right now, trying to come back to 380, and Chainlink is starting to push back up. Now, what I personally wanted to see, was Chainlink hold the blue 21-day EMA because we found support along it multiple times, right? And that was also a major support indicator on the way up, and it was also a major resistance indicator on the way down, right? That's exactly where we found resistance multiple times for Chainlink. And, holding that would have been nice, but we didn't, right? So that does, obviously most altcoins are showing some weakness right now. But what Chainlink needs to do is get back above the 21-day EMA. If we can get above the 21-day EMA, flip that back into support, hopefully this dump is short-lived, then, if we can confirm the 21-day EMA as support again, then things will likely, will at least start to range back into this pattern. But the major target here for Chainlink is going to be $12.85. Right, that's the area that you want to get to next. But, if we start to fall below this, this current support zone, maybe we'll come back to 922, 870 to retest support. Ultimately, you want to hold $9.22 Chainlink if we do pull back more. But if this bounce does play out, then things are looking pretty good. Now, at this point in time, with the way that Bitcoin's running up, right, it's looking really bullish. There's a lot of interest now for Bitcoin. And if we get above 12.5K, we might get more eyes on the market, more money to come into the market, more FOMO, more hype, right? But regardless, even if we don't smash that resistance soon, if Bitcoin just consolidates in this range, right? If we at least just get a consolidation, then altcoins will begin to start to bounce back. And then maybe we'll flip the 21-day EMA for Chainlink and begin to bounce back. But it really all depends on what Bitcoin does. I mean, even right now, altcoins are starting to find some support across the board, at least a little bit. Once Bitcoin, finds a top and cools off, that's when you're going to see the altcoins make a huge comeback. That's just always how it goes. And right now, Bitcoin is acting as a bit of a vampire, sucking the life out of, all the other coins. And that is, that's pretty standard. That's pretty routine. Yeah, guys, I mean, Chainlink, people are talking about banned protocol. Guys, Chainlink is by far the leader in the Oracle space. There's no competition right now. There's like no competition at all. The only reason that band's price went up so much was because the Binance Mafia is behind them and they pumped it, right? They were part of the project. They pumped it and there was only 20 million tokens. So people were talking about how like Band was competing with Chainlink, but guys, I mean, from a market cap perspective, it really wasn't, right? It really wasn't. You got to look, it's not just about price, it's also about market cap. And Chainlink is, the number 7 top cryptocurrency right now. But also, I want to switch gears back to Ethereum real quick. Not just the price, though I have very high hopes for Ethereum. And I think that Ethereum is going to do extremely well moving forward, right? It is absolutely, most of my favorite altcoin projects are built on Ethereum, right? And Ethereum is the powerhouse of the entire DeFi movement right now, or at least most of it. And one interesting thing that happened was the CFTC chairman, Heath Tarbert, actually said that he was impressed with Ethereum and that he thinks that, Ethereum is something that, or what he said was that the United States needs to lead in the blockchain space, right? If you watch this interview with the chairman of the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, he basically says that we want to make sure that the United States is leading in the blockchain space, that the United States isn't being left behind. So they want to actually start to properly regulate cryptocurrencies, which is good and bad. The bad side of regulating crypto is that there's going to be all kinds of rules and hoops to get through in order for institutions to get into the market. The good side about regulating crypto is that it's going to be legitimized, right? And companies are going to start using cryptocurrencies and they will have permission to do so. And the market cap for the entire crypto space is going to absolutely skyrocket over the next decade. And the Commodities Future Trading Commission chairman wants the United States to lead in blockchain. So they're making sure that they have the proper regulation. And Ethereum apparently is classified as a commodity. Pretty sure they discussed that Bitcoin and Ethereum are a commodity, though he didn't confirm it completely. But the chairman of the CFTC said that Ethereum is going to be regulated as a commodity. And basically what he said, what's this guy's name again? Heath Tarbert. What he said in this article, I read this a few days ago, he said that as long as Ethereum is decentralized, right, the more decentralized that blockchain becomes, the more decentralized that Ethereum becomes, the more likely it is to be labeled as a commodity and not a security, right? And I think that's more favorable at this point. So I have a lot of hopes for Ethereum. I mean, he even sort of like played with the idea that Ethereum could have a large portion of the financial system on it, which is pretty cool. But he also said there's risks with that in case Ethereum goes down, of course. But anyway, my big point here is that the establishment is actually looking at Ethereum and Bitcoin, of course. But, you know, Ethereum is likely to be very successful, I think. So that's the cool part. And again, there's good things and bad things with it, but if you can get the regulation to come in, then you get more institutional money to come in, right? You can't just have Wild West crypto and like a huge market cap, right? The government's never going to allow that to happen. So, you know, we're going to have to deal with regulators coming in soon. And of course, we saw the CFTC, you know, coming after BitMEX and Arthur Hayes and arresting them, you know, so. Anyway, I just kind of went on a rant there about how Ethereum may start to get integrated into the mainstream financial system and how blockchain might actually become a huge industry for the traditional system soon. I even read an article today saying that banks might become nodes, which is also kind of interesting. Imagine that if a bank was like running a node for a blockchain. Kind of cool. Somebody's saying Bitcoin is dumping. What are you talking about? Bitcoin is absolutely not dumping right now, guys. I swear, people are looking at like the 30-second chart. They're looking at the 30-second chart and they see like a candle come down and they think it's dumping. Come on, guys. Bitcoin is literally at 12,200 right now. Look at this chart. Look at the daily chart. Somebody says Ethereum can't scale, but that's the point of ETH 2.0. Right, they're gonna have scaling solutions, and I've actually read some of what Vitalik has been discussing recently about certain projects that are doing really well with coming up with scaling solutions. And there was even a conversation between Vitalik and Chainlink God Eth, which is a Twitter account, where they were talking about the potential for 160,000 transactions per second for Ethereum 2.0 using ZK rollup snarks. So, and there's also already projects that are doing that. So that's, guys, 160K transactions per second. If that's true, if Vitalik wasn't just messing around, and that's true, well, that's huge. That's a lot. F2 watch out. Yeah, F2. I think, you know, it might take a while, but F2 is going to probably knock people's socks off. I think the F developers are just trying to do it right, guys. I mean, you're better off taking your time and doing it right rather than just, you know, fumbling. Just looking at chat real quick. I think I missed a lot of chat. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the stream. I see some more people coming in here. Definitely hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new. It definitely helps out a lot if you guys can hit the like and subscribe. Just seeing if there were more questions here. Craig Neve, what is up? Welcome back, Craig. Craig is a longtime viewer, been around for years, actually. What's your price target on Chainlink and Ethereum by the end of 2020? By the end of 2020, I mean, that's hard to say. It's hard to say. If we look at the price of Bitcoin, if you were to sort of just, again, it all depends on what happens, what the, you know, there's like the talks, that's another thing. The stimulus package recently, today, I guess, they misled everyone. And today, still today, Tuesday, October 20th, was supposed to be the deadline when they agreed on the stimulus package. But of course, it's all about politics. And then all of a sudden, Nancy today was like, well, today wasn't the day that we were supposed to agree. It was just, you know, we wanted to get things set, you know, like she just like made something up. She said, Nancy Pelosi said, today isn't the day that we would have the deal. It's the day when we would have our terms on the table to agree on the next step. But like, they totally misled everyone. I mean, it's politics, guys. They're trying to put pressure on each other. But my point here is that it's gonna, a lot of stuff depends on the stimulus package and the global narrative and how people feel about, are people still confident in the stock market? Even with the U.S. economy not doing all that well, we are seeing somewhat of a recovery. I mean, I see a lot more people out in public driving around, going to restaurants, which is good. So we're seeing some kind of a comeback, but the economy is definitely still damaged, right? Sorry guys, I have an internet connection issue here on one computer. I hope my whole stream didn't just go down. Are we good? I think we're good, right? Yeah. But anyway, what I was saying was the stimulus package is going to play a big role in the confidence in the stock market, I think. I mean, of course, even after the election, they could pass the bill. But to answer your question, someone's saying, what is your prediction end of year for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Chainlink? Well, first of all, we have to figure out what Bitcoin's going to do. You can only analyze an altcoin if you first analyze Bitcoin for the most part, right? There are anomalies that happen every so often, but if we assume that Bitcoin is going to hold the 21-week EMA, right? And with the way the 21-week EMA usually trends, it's going to be generally something like this. Of course, we could come up more, down more, whatever, right? But if this is the case, then by the end of 2020, Bitcoin would be roughly around, I would say, 12.8 to 15K probably, right? Somewhere along these lines. If we're going to hold the 21-week EMA, let me just pull up the vertical line here. By the end of the year, assuming that we do hold the 21-week EMA, Bitcoin would be somewhere in this range, which would be anywhere from like 12.5K to 15K or something like that. We could be much more bullish than that or much more bearish than that, but 12.5 to 15K, right? I'm not going to get too specific and call out some some specific number, but this is what you'd be looking for. Something like in this area. Of course, we could range higher than that, lower than that, whatever. But for Bitcoin, I would say, you could just target closer to like 15K end of year if things continue at this rate. That's a pretty conservative estimate if we're going to assume this trajectory plays out. 15K end of year. So for Ethereum, it's a little bit harder to judge. But Ethereum is also holding the 21-week EMA. It's a little bit less significant for Ethereum, but end of year, if things play out well, anywhere from 400, you could say maybe $500 to $600, maybe end of year. If you think about it, that's pretty conservative. That's like a pretty good estimate. It's not too bullish. It's not too bearish, right? It's just assuming we are on a slightly more bullish trajectory. $500, $600, maybe a little higher. We'll see. But that you want to look somewhere in this range for end of year prices. I'm just using the 21-week EMA right now for this. Again, the global narrative is really uncertain. So we'll have to see how it plays out. But let me just mark this up for you guys so you guys can see it. I mean, it's hard to say, right? Because if Bitcoin becomes extremely bullish and goes like fully parabolic, then we might end of the year much more bullish than this, but somewhere around this range. Again, you're going to see huge pumps, pullbacks, but 14, 15K for Bitcoin, end of year 500-600 for Ethereum, and then for Chainlink, it's much harder to predict because it's a smaller coin. I don't even know if I want to make a prediction for Chainlink end of year. It's much harder to say because these swings have been gigantic, right? It's really hard to say. I mean, we could be closer to the all-time high at the end of the year if Bitcoin remains bullish. We'll see, though. Which means $20 potentially. We'll see, though. Hard to say. So, guys, what I just did was total speculation, right? Anything can happen. Anything can change. Total speculation. Just so you know. What's up, guys? So I'm looking at chat again. Just going through chat. I just missed a bunch of stuff. People are asking about XRP. I'm not really a fan of XRP, but we can look at it. Let's see. By the way, guys, this app I was using at the beginning of the stream, where you can do custom layouts and stuff, is the new Cryptowatch desktop app, which is, you know, if you have an account on Cryptowatch, you can use that for free. Right, so just go to cryptowatch.ch and click on desktop and then just download it to your computer. And there you go, you got custom layouts. It's pretty cool. Definitely check it out. So let's go to XRP. I know there's a lot of XRP fans out there. A lot of people swear by XRP and they're so loyal to XRP. And you know what? Hats off to you, because I mean, I couldn't deal with this for 2 years. I wouldn't be able to. I mean, if you're bullish on XRP, that means you've done a lot of research and you are very confident in what they're doing, right? That's the only way you can really be an ultra XRP fan, is if your research has led you to believe that they will be a huge deal one day, which maybe it's true. Maybe it's true. We'll see, right? And one thing that you can actually verify, I forget the guy's name, but one of the, I guess it's the guy that used to be with the XRP team, but now he's with XLM, right? The competitor to XRP. I forget that guy's name, but that guy has been dumping XRP, like his share of XRP on the market. And there's a lot of insiders that have been selling, right? Because why else would XRP keep going down? It's because insiders have been selling. It's just, you can actually verify that on the blockchain and look at their wallets. But anyway, you know, a lot of people are going to get angry when I say that, but it's actually just true. And there's no other reason why XRP would be performing so badly. Just insiders are selling. But anyway, guys, the supply is huge. But looking at this chart, since 2017, XRP was in a descending triangle, right? We created a descending triangle, which is a classic bearish pattern. And if you followed traditional technical analysis for almost an entire year, you knew that, okay, this is a bearish pattern and we're likely going to break down. And we did break down, and then we rallied up, tried to break out, and we broke down again. So this descending triangle bearish pattern played out to the downside. We hit 11 cents, 11.5 cents. And then XRP found a ton of volume. There was a lot of accumulation for XRP at the low here. So that is one positive thing that I see about XRP, is that somebody wanted a lot of XRP. And what my speculation on this is that insiders were selling XRP, making money. They were handing out XRP to banks, and maybe they were selling it, right? And then once it hit a low point, the insiders reaccumulated XRP at the low, right? So now they're sitting on a lot of XRP probably, again, which could be a bullish thing. We'll see. But, you know, now we're coming back up. We retested that previous support of the descending triangle. We found some rejection. And now XRP is consolidating right below the support of the multi-year descending triangle pattern. So for XRP, guys, you know, you just need to get above this support. It's pretty simple. Let's see here. Well, I'm not going to do that right now, but XRP needs to start breaking above this support, this multi-year descending triangle support zone, and just start to range out of here, right? You haven't been able to do this yet. You know, since you broke down out of it, you haven't really been able to reclaim that zone. You tried multiple times, but you're still below, right? You're not making any growth right now. So in order to really get some gains here, you got to get above that, confirm it as support, and start to rally. If Bitcoin becomes much more bullish and we go into a bullish trend, XRP could see a major move, right? XRP, you know, maybe there's some kind of insider manipulation where they pump the price again and send it to the moon. And that's what a lot of people are hoping for. You know, a lot of people are hoping for that crazy pump again. But you just got to hope that the insiders who own most of the 99 billion or whatever XRP, or 46 billion, whatever's on the market, you got to hope that they're not selling and that they hold on so that the price goes up. Anyway, I'm not a huge fan of XRP, but I just want to explain what my thoughts. Bitcoin is actually starting to break out again. Looking at the 4-hour chart for Bitcoin, we can see that we just touched $12,300. Guys, if we get another 100 likes on this stream, we'll probably go up another $100. It's worked in previous live streams. We're now pushing up above 12,300, guys. So let's see. Let's work up that last resistance at 12,486. We're coming up on it now. We're getting pretty close, guys. And I guess we're like, you know, about $200 away. If we get above that, right? If we get above that high that we're less than $200 away from, that's going to be the next macro higher high of 2020. And that would be pretty amazing to see. That would be pretty amazing to see. Let's go to the daily chart for Bitcoin. Or sorry, actually I need to use this chart. Mark up the upward sloping resistance. And then mark up that resistance at 13.8K. So if we can get above that level, just below 12,500, about 12,480 or so. If we can get above that, which we're pretty close, the next major target is actually coming in. You know, I'm not saying that we're necessarily going to just fly straight up there, but the next major target is actually closer to 13.8K. And if you want to get super bullish, you can just look at the upward sloping resistance line and say that the next major resistance is coming in actually, you know, in the mid 14K range. So that's also pretty interesting. If Bitcoin does start to pull back at any point, guys, at any point, you know, whether we just moon from here or maybe we pop up a little bit and actually see a pullback, just remember the this blue line here, the 21-week EMA, is going to be most likely a very promising area to buy a Bitcoin at during a very bullish trend, right? You'll probably end up getting your best entries for Bitcoin along the 21-week EMA. And of course that requires patience because it'll take weeks to get to your preferred buy zone. And some people don't have the patience to do that, but if you have the patience to wait like a few weeks on a pullback, your optimal entries will probably, in a bull market environment, will probably be coming in along that level, right? Just keep that in mind. This is sort of like FOMO medicine. If you're FOMOing right now, well, you could just try and be a little bit more patient and maybe look to buy along the 21-week EMA at a later point. It could take a month, right? You never know. Man, we are so close to hitting that last macro high. Somebody said, Robert says, the parabolic stop and reverse indicator flashed bullish on the weekly chart. Let's check it out. That would be interesting. Let's see. Oh, it did. That's pretty cool. So the parabolic stop and reverse indicator is indicating that potentially we're looking at a major uptrend now. It's possible. There have been times where the parabolic stop and reverse indicator kind of faked you out, I guess. But let's take a look at this, guys. Let's take a look at the parabolic stop and reverse indicator. And actually, I'm just going to remove everything off the chart. Because look at this. If you're looking at the parabolic stop and reverse indicator for Bitcoin on the weekly chart, this actually, and if you pair it up with the Heikin-Ashi candles, it gets pretty amazing. Check this out. Here, I guess you could look at this area right here. August 5th of 2018, the parabolic stop and reverse indicator gave us a bearish flip, and we trended with this. It never went back to being bullish until all the way down here, at the bottom of the bear market, on mid-February when we flipped bullish. And once the parabolic stop and reverse indicator flipped bullish, well, it stayed bullish all the way up until the peak. And then once it flipped bearish again, it stayed bearish all the way, and it gave you the right direction. It showed you the right direction. Of course, now we had the COVID-19 stuff, right? Crazy manipulation, or not manipulation, sorry. Just crazy emotion, panic. I mean, a little bit of leverage trading going on here, obviously, liquidations, but insane swings here. So the parabolic stop and reverse indicator at this point was a little bit less reliable, just craziness going on, right? So I don't even care about this area. But once it flipped bullish again, we trended bullish with it, all the way up until this area here, and now we're starting to flip bullish once again. So the idea is that if you're using the parabolic stop and reverse indicator, especially on the weekly chart, the idea is that, hopefully it's going to guide you in the right direction for an extended period of time, right? So that could be interesting to watch. It's pretty good. It rarely fails on the weekly chart. It does a few times here. Like, I guess this was also a bit of a fake out recently, in a sense, but it's been pretty good overall. And if you're using it with the Heikin-Ashi candles, it's also pretty powerful. Even though, take a look at this. Even though in the bear market in 2018, there was a couple green Heikin-Ashi candles, if you, instead looked at the parabolic stop and reverse indicator, which never flipped bullish, it kept you on the right track. Same thing with this area here. We had 3 Heikin-Ashi candles that flipped bearish, but the parabolic stop and reverse indicator kept you right on track. And the same thing, well, actually no, this whole area right here was a bit of a fake out. But yeah, it's a pretty interesting combination. Heikin-Ashi candles with the parabolic stop and reverse indicator. If you're trying to identify long-term trend direction, it's really, really powerful. So we'll see, guys. And again, the reason I'm talking about this right now is because, if I can get rid of these, we just got, if I zoom in here, we just got that first indication of a bullish flip on the weekly chart, as Robert has just informed me in the chat. So that's pretty interesting. Hopefully we close this weekly above 12K, and then we might be looking for a nice uptrend here on out. And that's the idea. Nick says he just bought 6 Bitcoin. Somebody says, Kevin, will you marry me? I don't know. I'm not that easy. Robert says, parabolic stop reverse indicator, Heikin-Ashi equals money. It's really good, guys. It's a really good one. Let me just mark this up so it all looks normal. It's not, you know, obviously it's not 100% of the time, but it's pretty good. I mean, if you calculated this, the parabolic stop and reverse indicator kept you on the trend for, I mean, almost 80% of the time, probably, or more. It was like 80% accurate for the past like 1-2 years. On the weekly chart, on the lower time frames, it gets crazy, right? I'm talking about the weekly chart, guys. Colin says, best live vid on the crypto scene. I appreciate that. What's up, Colin? How's it going? Question, what about Polkadot? You know, people have been like speculating that Polkadot is like an Ethereum killer or something, but it's just not the case. It's just not the case. Yeah, I mean, you have to really think about how integrated Ethereum is into the crypto space, and just the sheer amount of altcoins and the sheer amount of development that is taking place on Ethereum. There is no competition, guys. There's no competition. Polkadot actually doesn't even come close, even though the market cap, you know, had a huge boom. I don't know. I would almost argue that it's possibly overvalued, maybe, but I don't know. We'll see. But in crypto, it's hard to say, you know, in crypto, it's very hard to determine if something is overvalued because it's not, you can't really put a price tag on a lot of these things. It's really based on just like, I mean, there is technically you know, each Bitcoin does technically have a price or a value, but you have to calculate that with all the infrastructure for mining and all the exchanges and stuff. But anyway, yeah, I don't think Polkadot comes anywhere close to Ethereum, guys. Somebody says the DXY looks messed up. So it looks like S&P futures are up 0.7% right now. Let's go to the DXY. The US dollar index. Oh yeah, the US dollar index is losing support. I mean, that's pretty obvious to see, but we had a support level and we're starting to crack it. We're starting to crack below it. So yeah, it's looking pretty weak. The US dollar index is looking very weak now. And what's really interesting, guys, is if you just, I mean, most of you guys probably know this, but if you just bring up Bitcoin to the US dollar, just pull up Bitcoin's price, check it out. I mean, an incredible inverse correlation. Right, so here is actually, I'll just make Bitcoin's line something that looks more, stands out a bit. It looks like I already had Bitcoin pulled up. So here's, you know, Bitcoin compared to the US dollar index. And during COVID-19, the global pandemic, cash was king, right? And Bitcoin crashed because, you know, Bitcoin is not a hedge against crisis events. Bitcoin is not a hedge against the stock market, and it never was. Bitcoin was never a hedge against crisis events, and it was never a hedge against stock market. But it is a hedge against the US dollar, which is good news right now because if you go to the US money supply, well, wow, I mean, look at this. The money supply has just absolutely volcanoed. Total explosion, right? Check that out. Insane, right? So, it's good news. The US dollar is likely to lose value now over time because, you know, the incessant printing. So if we start to lose, I mean, if the US dollar index starts to lose that 90 level, or I guess 91.70, 91.50, if the US dollar index starts to lose that 91.50 level, it's going to get really bullish out here, guys. If it starts to lose that, it's going to get really bullish out here. No one's going to want to hold the US dollar. You know, no investors are going to want to hold cash when this is happening, right? So if you get below 91.50 for the US dollar index for the DXY, I would expect a lot more bullishness for Bitcoin. Let's just look at this again. Yep. So you'll see that perfect, you'll see like a really perfect inverse correlation between the two. And this is, you know, this is basically what Satoshi designed Bitcoin for. So Bitcoin is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. Gain in value as the US dollar value continues to decline. A lot of people are commenting on the Bitcoin volume. By the way, guys, if you are tuning into the stream, if you've just tuned in, hit that like button. It helps out a lot. If you're enjoying the content, hit the like button and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Subscribe if you're new. I post videos, you know, a few times a week. Do live streams every so often. Haven't done a live stream in a while. I actually usually post videos every other day or so. It's usually like every 2 days, but the past week I took some time off, took a little bit of like a vacation, but you know, I'm getting back into it now. So people are talking about the Bitcoin volume here. Well, you also have to consider that Bitcoin hasn't necessarily, you know, like broken out necessarily. Like it's breaking out above resistance, and it's breaking out above key resistance, but like a true breakout is going to be, you know, cracking 12.5. So if you do that, then you're going to see a lot more volume come in. But we'll see. You never know. We got to see where Bitcoin tops out. It's hard to judge. It's always hard to judge when the top is going to come in. But you'll be able to identify it when it happens. Like if we continue to run up and we get like a bullish engulfing, you know, on the daily or something, right? Then you'll know it's probably the topping out. And then at that point, you just expect Bitcoin to consolidate for a while. And that would also allow, you know, altcoins to move back up. But we'll see, guys. There's no top confirmed yet. Bitcoin could keep going up and we could break 12.5. We'll see. We'll see. Top, Jesus, what's up, man? Jesus coming to the chat. He says top is at 13,678. Let's pull up this again. So one way that I'm identifying resistance right now, there's a lot of lines here, but is this upward sloping resistance, which could act, you know, this, it's kind of like a channel we're in. So if you just like look at the top of the channel, I mean, at the top of the channel actually comes in above 13.8. So that's a little bit, that's asking for a lot, but we'll see. If we get above 12.5, then we're going to hit at least 13.2 in my opinion, potentially run up towards 13.8, but we'll see. Ethereum still struggling. But really what we need to see is Bitcoin begin to consolidate if the altcoins are going to start running. Just looking at Chainlink again. We were talking about Chainlink earlier in the stream. We were saying how we need to reclaim the 21-day EMA. If you look at the run-up, the 21-day EMA was, a pretty good support indicator as well. So we had the support indicator here. Looking at that, a little bit right here. And then it was a really good resistance indicator. If you shorted along it, you'd have made a lot of money, right? And then we just flipped it into support again. We're using it as support. And now we, because Bitcoin went up, alts crashed, or not crashed, sorry, pulled back. And now we're looking at, hopefully Chainlink is going to be closing the daily above the 21-day EMA. And if we can reclaim that and use it as support again, then that's pretty bullish, right? That would be some bullish confirmation. So it didn't crash. See, I was actually, so this is a funny thing. The people that are in my Discord, if you guys, you could probably join. There should be a link below. Is there a link below the live stream for the Discord? Yeah, there is. Join the Discord, guys. It's free to join the Discord. But in my VIP chat for all the people in my Patreon, I always tell them not to use the words crash unless we're actually crashing, or dump unless we're actually dumping, right? Because a lot of times what you see in the crypto space is people misusing the words pump and dump and crash, right? Like people will look at the chart. This is kind of just like a funny thing. It's like a pet peeve of mine, right? They'll look at the chart and they'll see Ethereum now has moved back up here, which maybe we might close this as a bullish engulfing candle, but right, people will call this a pump. They'll be like, oh my God, Ethereum's pumping, but it's not pumping at all. It's just going sideways. So I have like a pet peeve of using these words incorrectly. Like yesterday, if people saw Ethereum, they would go, oh my God, it's dumping, but it's not dumping at all. It's just going sideways, right? I don't know, it's just kind of funny. It's like a pet peeve I have. And I just said crash in the wrong way. I said Chainlink crashed, and it really didn't crash. It's just in this, actually just holding along this upward sloping trend line. That's my mission, guys. I want to make sure that people stop saying pumping and dumping and crashing when that is not what's happening. I swear, people are looking at the 30-second chart these days. Guys, let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat if you think, I want to see how bullish you guys are. Do you think that Bitcoin is going to hit 20K by the end of the year? Click 1 for yes and 2 for no. Will Bitcoin hit 20K by the end of the year? Click 1 for yes and 2 for no. I'll tell you my answer after you guys answer. Guys, everyone watching, post your vote in the chat. Will Bitcoin hit 20K end of year? 1 for yes, 2 for no. And don't hit the number multiple times. Guys, I hope the audio is good. I can't hear the stream right now, so I hope the audio is okay. I hope I don't play this back later and like the music is too loud or something. At this point, it's too late, but there's a lot of ones. There's a lot of people here that think Bitcoin is going to hit 20K by the end of the year. Just to remind you guys, we're more than halfway through the month of October. So we got 2 months. Sorry, 2.5 months. So basically, if you guys think Bitcoin's going to hit 20K by the end of the year, that means the next 8 candles, the next 8 weekly candles, for those of you that think it will, would basically have to send us all the way up. So here's 3 candles, here's 4 candles, here's 5, here's 6, here's 7, and here is 8, just to give you perspective on what you're asking for. Bitcoin would have to do this to hit 20K by the end of the year. Personally, I don't think it'll happen. I don't think this is going to happen by the end of the year. I think that by the end of the year, Bitcoin will more likely be in the middle of this channel. You know, anywhere from like 13.8 to maybe 15K, you know, maybe 15K possibly. We'll see, maybe. I mean, we'll see. If things do remain bullish. So again, I asked the chat, do you guys think Bitcoin's going to go to 20K by the end of the year? Click 1 for yes, 2 for no. And I saw a lot of ones, and I was just saying, like, this is a little bit unrealistic in my opinion, right? For that to happen, and that's end of year right there, guys. I don't think so. I would stay a little bit realistic. Don't get your expectations too high, because then you're going to get disappointed. But I do think that it's possible that maybe 13.8, 15K end of year, maybe. Of course, we you know, as much as nobody wants to hear me say this, but we do need permission from the global markets for Bitcoin to remain very, very bullish, right? As long as, you know, the stock market isn't crashing, then Bitcoin could probably trend higher going into the end of the year. There's a lot of you guys that think Bitcoin will do that. That we're going to basically see 8 green weekly candles in a row. I mean, if that happens, I guess I'll have to do a giveaway. I've also been wondering, like, what have other influencers been, you know, people have been awaiting 20K for so long, right? So long. I mean, I started my YouTube channel, you know, right here. I started my YouTube channel, guys, like right, where was it? It was like right here, I think. Like somewhere in this area, I believe. And I started my YouTube channel because I was warning about a bubble. And I was actually warning about prices like 2,500, which I was $600 off. You know, a year-long prediction. Still pretty good. But, you know, I mean, people have been waiting for 20K again, like for a long, long, long time. So my question is, what are influencers preparing to do for 20K? Because, you know, if it happens sooner than we think, I wonder what other influencers are going to be doing when Bitcoin hits 20K. What do they have prepared? I've been thinking about something I'm going to make for you guys here on YouTube. The crypto meetups at 20K are going to be insane. Bitcoin, someone in my VIP chat from Patreon said, he put it in a really interesting way. He said Bitcoin bull markets are like cultural events. It's basically a global cultural event, and it really is. Bitcoin bull markets is a global cultural event, and the next one is going to be absolutely insane, guys. You know, if things do start to get really bullish, it's going to be so crazy. People are still talking about the Gap. Man, I think the Gap boys are dead. I think the Gap boys are dead, guys. The Gap boys may have officially been killed. I mean, if Bitcoin starts to pop up above 12.5, the Gap boys for 9.6 are going to be pretty. It's not going to be looking good for them. Link 40 next year. It's totally possible, guys. I mean, Chainlink, if there is a major bull market for the crypto space, I really do think that Chainlink hitting prices like $40 are actually almost like the first step of the bull market. You know, it sounds crazy. I mean, we were at $20, guys. If there's a true bull market ahead of us, Chainlink hitting $40 is actually like target number 1 in a bull market, honestly. I mean, If that sounds crazy to you, which it might, you may not have been here for 2017 and you don't really understand what happens in a crypto bull market. But if there's a true bull market, 40 bucks is like target number one, right? And it could go much higher than that. It could go much higher than that. I mean, like, people probably think that's crazy, but if you just look at Ethereum in 2017, Ethereum in 2017, you know, once it broke that all-time high, it first went up 1,500%, and then it went up ultimately, you know, like 6,000%. 6,000%. I mean, if Chainlink does half of that, literally half of that, what is that? If Chainlink does half of what Ethereum did in the bull market, let's just go with half. So that's a 2,500% gain. Sorry, actually more, 3,000% gain. I know obviously this just sounds like such a moon boy thing to say, but if Ethereum performed half, if Chainlink performs half as good as Ethereum in the next bull market, that's 150 bucks. Totally possible. But again, that means that I'm talking about Bitcoin above 20K. That's what I'm talking about. And Bitcoin would have to do that. Chainlink's not going to do that on its own. So what's Bitcoin up to now on the 4-hour? Just below 12,300. I think I actually just saw Chainlink come back up above the 21-day EMA. So Chainlink is finding that support. Some altcoins are now finding some support. And it looks like Chainlink is starting to make it happen. Getting back above that moving average, which is good. I think, you know, with the way that Bitcoin's behaving, being very bullish, whatever dumps happened today for altcoins was a bit of a, you know, this term doesn't really make sense, but it was like a fake out. I mean, I guess it does make sense, but it was like a fake out. People probably panic sold or whatever, but you know, I wasn't really all too worried. Guys, when Bitcoin's going up a lot and altcoins are going down, that's like you should be buying. You should not be selling altcoins. You should be buying them, right? Even though they're going down while Bitcoin's going up. Once Bitcoin comes back and starts to go sideways, the altcoins just rocket. I mean, that's the formula. That's the formula, guys. Chainlink is my favorite alt, says Hunter. I agree. It's mine too. I mean, guys, you know, a lot of people got really pissed off because they bought Chainlink late, which, you know, that sucks. If you buy at the top, that sucks. But for those of you that have been watching my channel, I mean, for those of you that have been really watching my channel, if I go to, you know, the Binance chart, we were talking about Chainlink at like 50 cents on this channel. There were videos of Chainlink at 50 cents, right? And then I remember I did a live stream when it got listed on Coinbase and it hit $4. And then we, you know, I was talking about it a little bit, and then I was talking about a lot more in this range here, from $1.80 to $4, and then again from this, you know, $2 to $4. You know, we were all over this before it actually happened, and I was calling for like $7 while it was at $4. So a lot of my viewers who got in early did really well, and then of course the hype kind of caught people, you know, got the best of people, and they FOMO'd the top. But regardless, guys, Chainlink is a very promising project, and it's likely to do well in the long term, especially if Bitcoin enters a bull market. Especially then. And right now on the daily chart, it seems like Ethereum is starting to bullishly engulf a little bit. So this is pretty cool. Just a few hours into the new daily, Ethereum is starting to push up. Chainlink starting to push up. And Bitcoin, we'll see. We'll see what happens with Bitcoin. The most bullish thing for Bitcoin at this point would be if, you know, obviously we consolidate above 12K. I'm not sure how likely it is, but Imagine if we just consolidated above 12K. If we lose 12K, guys, if we end up losing 12K, then we might test 11.5 again. Then we might consolidate, above 11.5. So losing 12K might send us to 11.5. But we'll see. I mean, there is no confirmed top yet. There is no confirmed top. Just looking at chat real quick. Johnny K says, you nailed the bump and run back in April. Johnny K's been watching for a while. There have been a lot of new viewers recently, which is why I said that. But let's see. Talking about the bump and run. So guys, one thing that I was posting about, just another, if you guys are a regular viewer of my live streams, you've probably heard me say this. I'm pretty sure. There are way too many lines on this screen right now. Hold on. So, I'll just get rid of everything actually. So, when Bitcoin dumped, it was like one of the easiest bottoms to call after the COVID-19, I'm not sure, does Google censor that word? I'll just say the global pandemic. When Bitcoin dumped and we got this volume spike and we closed the weekly right at that, right above 5K right there, it was like the easiest bottom call I've ever made. It was so easy because look, 14K, right? The 14K peak, interesting, record volume, huge volume spike. The 3,000 low here in the bear market, or at least close to it, 4K area, huge volume spike right near the low. Same thing with 20K area, huge volume spike. Same thing with that major 6K support that was there for months, right? Huge volume spike on that support bounce. So whenever you get these record volume spikes, something's happening, right? Somebody's selling a lot, somebody's buying a lot. The big boys out there are selling a lot or buying a lot. And, a lot of people say, you'll hear a lot of analysts out there say, well, I don't use volume because OTC, you can trade Bitcoin OTC. Well, that's true. But what happens on the public markets is very important as well, right? The way that Bitcoin trades hands on the markets is extremely important. So you want to look at volume, not on the lower timeframes as much. The higher timeframes are where you want to look at it. So whenever you see these huge volume spikes, you know that something's happening. Just keep that in mind. And this was probably the easiest bottom call I've ever made. It was just so obvious. But that's a good lesson for you guys. I wanted to mention this. Just keep your eye on that weekly volume. It's so important. And then I guess we had the bump and run here. The bump and then the run back up. Good times, good times. What's really funny though is that when I was bearish in 2018, I got a lot of criticism. When I was bearish at 14K, right after this major weekly rejection, I got a lot of criticism. When I was bullish down here after that major reversal, I got a lot of criticism. It's like the market is telling me something every time. I get so much criticism when I make a call like that. It's pretty funny actually. DXY down looking awful. Yeah, DXY is looking pretty bad. Again, guys, if we lose 9170, then it's going to get pretty bullish for us here. Bitcoin has a really nice inverse correlation to the US dollar index. Yeah, people ask me a lot about different projects, and people ask me Kev, why don't you buy this coin? Why don't you buy that coin? And it's like, really, what I think it's so hard for me to explain what it is I look for in an altcoin, but what I think is the best altcoin to buy. What I think the best altcoin projects are to buy are the altcoin projects that are fundamentally changing crypto. Not like some outside thing. Coins that are, because guys, I mean, crypto is underdeveloped, right? The industry is still like bare bones, underdeveloped, needs work, needs a lot of work done, right? So you wanna invest in the infrastructure of crypto, the things that are changing the crypto space, that are changing blockchain tech, because we're still in the development stage. So you don't want to be like jumping the gun and like buying a crypto that is like for some like weird outside business, or I don't know. Maybe it'll do well, but you want to be looking for the projects that are really focused on developing the crypto industry and blockchain tech and changing the game for the industry itself, internally, not externally. Right now, we're still in the internal phase that we need to really get stuff done. So that's kind of like, I hope I explained that right, because that is really the best place to look for altcoins, is what is changing like the technology. Just looking at chat. We have 500 people watching, guys. Definitely hit that like button. Let's see if we can get 500 likes on the stream, and subscribe if you're new to the channel as well. And some of you are new to the stream right now, and we were just mentioning how the parabolic stop and reverse indicator, I'm just drawing this up so it's a little bit more obvious for you. But, you know, the parabolic stop and reverse indicator has been very reliable, and we've trended, I'll just remove these actually, but we were trending with these. They're really good at identifying the trends, right? The macro trends. And this area was a bit of a hiccup because of the global pandemic, so less reliable, but nevertheless, it's been pretty good. This area, a bit of a fake out as well. It's not always reliable, but we just now got the bullish flip for the parabolic stop and reverse indicator on the weekly chart. So the idea is that, you know, hopefully that is a good indication. It's not guaranteed, but hopefully it's a good indication that we are looking to start to, you know, trend up. And that's what we're looking for now. We just got like 50 likes on that. A nice like spike. Appreciate it, guys. Just looking at chat now. We've gone over a ton of stuff. We've gone over so much stuff in this live stream. A lot of people, you guys are asking me about a lot of altcoins right now. Can't answer all of them. I've seen a lot of people talk about Hex. That's like one of the most common comments tonight. I'm curious now. What's going on with this? Is this the right Hex? Doesn't really look all that good to me. I gotta look at another exchange. Can you suggest more entry point for a good long-term bull market? Can we confirm this bull is here? You can't really confirm that the bull market is here. Like you can, not 100%. You can't 100% say that it's here. But it's becoming more and more likely as time goes on. As long as the global narrative and the global markets and the stock market sort of agree with Bitcoin, because historically the global markets have to agree with Bitcoin price-wise for Bitcoin to really have a good, healthy trend. So as long as the global markets agree with Bitcoin generally, then Bitcoin could be entering a bull market. Now, once we start to break above, 12.5, 3.8, every time we get above a resistance, that's, it becomes more and more likely, obviously, that we are entering a bull market, right? I mean, if it depends on your definition of a bull market. Some people say that we have to break the all-time high, but really all it means is a sustained increase in price. I mean, this entire area could be considered a bull run, right? Especially if you start to continue for the next couple months. It's in of itself almost like a bull run. But I don't know. I haven't really thought about that. At what point do I say it's confirmed? It's pretty hard to say. I mean, the easy answer is 20K, but maybe 13.8. But you're asking about entries, guys. The 21-week EMA, if you go to the weekly chart and you pull up the 21-week EMA, which is this blue line here, this is a very good indicator for entries. If you look at the last bull market, it was a great area to enter, right? We used it as support all the way up. So, instead of like FOMOing the tops here, you could have longed the 21-week EMA, and that would have been a much more prime entry. So if you think about that right now, right? Maybe Bitcoin runs up to 13.8K and you want to FOMO, like, oh my God, right? But maybe instead you want to long the 21-week EMA for the next parabolic run. So instead of, FOMOing at 14K, you just wait for the retest. That's kind of like what you're looking for here moving forward, guys. The 21-week EMA is going to be your area of entry. At least that's what I would say to anyone who's saying, where should I enter? I mean, if you don't have any Bitcoin, buy a little bit now just because, not financial advice, and then just wait for the pullbacks to get your prime entry areas. Frank coming in with the 5. I appreciate it, Frank. No message attached. Just coming in with a 5. Much appreciated. Who do we have in here? Somebody else gave a tip. I forget who it was. Gotta find your name. But I appreciate it, Frank. But yeah, guys, that 21-week EMA could be a great support indicator. Of course, anything's possible. We could be so bullish that we just never touch the 21-week EMA until we break 20K. But that's unlikely, right? That's a FOMO mindset. If you just wait for the retest of the 21-week EMA. If you ever feel like you need to FOMO, just look for the 21-week EMA and set, you can set buy orders there, right? Wherever you think it may end up. William says, how's Band looking? Let's see, I haven't looked at it in a while, actually. It's looking okay. I mean, guys, really what's happening is Band is just like following Chainlink, right? Chainlink is leading the market and Band is just copying, basically. Even though the market structure is different, Band had a really harsh sell-off and has seen lower lows, lower lows, lower lows since, right? It's actually performing worse than Chainlink. But Band is kind of just copying Chainlink because Chainlink is the leader. Chainlink has the most partnerships, right? So I don't know. I would. There's a lot of shady stuff with Band. Band claimed that they were working with LRC Loopring in like a tweet, and Loopring had to say that they're not Like, they're like doing weird stuff. And there was like the whole sushi swap thing where like there was like a similar IP to the person who created Band. I don't know. Band is a little weird. How do you think ETH 2.0 will compete with Cardano when it enters an era? If it comes sooner than ETH 3.0, could it take S place? No, and absolutely not. And the reason I'm so confident that Cardano will not take F's place, and it's just extremely unlikely to ever happen, and the reason I'm so confident is because you just have to think. So let me make a comparison. If I ask you the question, is it possible that such and such coin will take over Bitcoin because, like, will this coin become the main trading pair in the crypto market instead of Bitcoin? The answer is no. And the reason the answer is no, the reason that Bitcoin will not be replaced is because it's so fundamentally integrated into everything. It's so fundamentally integrated into crypto to the point where it's just not possible. All the exchanges are built on Bitcoin, right? They're all their value sitting in Bitcoin, and the main trading pair is Bitcoin, and it's just the most, it's the most trusted cryptocurrency as well, has the most history, it's the most proven cryptocurrency. And in that same way, Ethereum is in a similar position. Ethereum is in a very similar position in the sense that, it's just so solidified into crypto, and there's so many projects building on Ethereum, and there's so much development on Ethereum that it's just like almost not possible. Like it just doesn't make sense that everyone would just stop building on Ethereum and just switch to Cardano. It's just not likely, like, at all. It's not likely at all. So it's not about who's going to kill Ethereum, right? There can still be competitors, right? And they can still do really well. People always look for like the killer, like the one that's going to take down Bitcoin, the one that's going to take down Ethereum. It's just not going to happen. Like, it's just not likely at all. At least not for the next many, many years. Maybe eventually. But ETH is not rapidly going up right now. Someone says, yeah, but that's because guys, this is routine. This is routine. This happens all the time. Bitcoin goes up. It takes all the focus, all the attention away from the altcoins, including Ethereum, and everything either goes down or trades sideways, right? I mean, a lot of the altcoins have been devastated recently, but Ethereum hasn't been devastated at all. It's just going sideways. Actually, it's starting to find higher lows here. It's starting to round off. Maybe we'll push up. Because it's routine. Ethereum does this stuff all the time. When Bitcoin's going up, sideways action, that's so normal. What Ethereum is doing right now does not represent its worth in the crypto market. That doesn't even make sense. It's just one moment, one blip in a very long-term story. Frank says, my message didn't go through at first. Check out uniswap.vision for the hex chart. Oh, I'm not sure if I want to visit that link right now. I want to be cautious on a live stream. I mean, I'm not sure if I've seen you in here before, Frank, but I appreciate the 5. Yeah, I don't know. I was looking for hex. I'm not sure how many. I wonder how many exchanges Cryptowatch has listed for hex. Only one. Hex is starting to come up a little bit here. That's not really it's not really that groundbreaking right now. I mean, this chart is only since, obviously Hex had a huge gain. I've already seen the chart before. Had a huge gain before this. Then it got listed on HitBTC. And if you just look at it like this is kind of what it's been doing. It's seeing a little bit of upside right now. But yeah, this is the only exchange I can look at right now. I mean, Hex just needs to get above 55,000, 57,000 sats. That'll start to become much more bullish. Is there like a group of Hex people in this chat right now? Frank, I appreciate the 5. But anyway, guys, we're gonna do a recap here. I'm not gonna be streaming for that much longer. Let's do a recap. Oh, I removed everything from this chart. Damn. I had everything marked up on this chart, but whatever. Bitcoin is now breaking out above this previous resistance from August, which is a pretty significant resistance. You know, we had one pop above it, but we got rejected off of it 3 times, and now we've just kind of moved straight through it within a 2-day period, which is pretty bullish. That shows that Bitcoin does have a lot of momentum and a lot of demand, to the point where this resistance didn't really act as resistance anymore, and we were able to just move straight through it. Obviously, if you're looking at the chart, about 12,500, just below 12,500 is the next area to get above. If we get above that, that's the next macro higher high for 2020. That would be the highest high of 2020. And that would also be if Bitcoin can close this weekly candle above 12,000. That's going to be the 7th weekly candle close in Bitcoin history to have closed above 12,000. The rest of them all took place at the peak of the bull market in 2017 to 2018. Bitcoin has never closed above 12,000 since then. Everything else has just been a wick. It's just been a wick since then. So, I mean, that is pretty historic, guys. If this weekly candle can close above 12K, I mean, just look at the chart. That is some real strength here for Bitcoin, right? So that is pretty historic. 7th weekly candle close in history. And what we saw recently, someone else pointed in the chat that the parabolic stop and reverse indicator just gave us a bullish flip, right? So it's becoming more likely that this trend may actually have some legs to it, and then we may actually continue to trend up. And what I was discussing before was that the 21-week EMA is probably going to be a pretty key moving average target, support target. We've been holding above it for a while, since end of April, closing all weeklies above it. So, and just like the last bull market, you know, the 21-week EMA was a really great area to be buying. And just like in that area, that's kind of what I'm looking for here, potentially, if it plays out in the way that I think it might. The 21-week EMA, you know, even if we do moon to like 14K, it's quite possible that we retest the 21-week EMA. Again, we might come right back to 12K, you know, after the next major parabolic run. And basically what I'm trying to say here is if you put your entries along the 21-week EMA, that might actually end up being the optimal entry if you do agree with the bull market narrative. Again, the stock market has to agree with Bitcoin. The stock market can't be crashing. If the stock market is crashing, Bitcoin will also be crashing. That's just how it goes, right? But if the stock market can remain generally bullish, or at least not crash and go sideways, then Bitcoin does have a good chance of going up and trending up along the 21-week EMA. And that's probably where you want your long-term entries for Bitcoin moving forward. So we'll see. We still haven't gotten above 12.5 yet, which is the next resistance. If we do, you could actually run up to 13.8 and then look to test back to the 21-week EMA at a later date before actually getting the next parabolic leg up to test, you know, 17 or whatever. But we'll see, guys. Again, all of this, what I've been talking about, is the bullish narrative. This is all just about the bullish narrative. We'll see how things play out. Again, like I was saying, the stimulus talks have been pushed back. If the stimulus gets denied, maybe the global narrative changes to the downside and things aren't as bullish. You know, I don't want to just be blindly bullish here. There are some risks right now. And just stay cautious. Anything's possible. Anything can happen, right? And there is a lot of uncertainty in the world right now. There's more uncertainty right now in the world than there has been since 2008, right? So just keep that in mind. But anyway, guys, that's going to be the end of the stream. Just wanted to do a recap for you guys. Before you go, hit that like button. It helps out the channel a lot if you can smash up that like button. Subscribe if you're new. If you enjoyed the stream, definitely, leave a comment, hit the like button, subscribe. And guys, I'll be seeing you guys in the next stream. Just making sure I didn't forget anything. I think we're good. All right, guys, I'll see you guys soon. Enjoy your night.
What exactly is Forex? It's the market where you can trade currencies from all over the world. It starts after 6 a.m. Sydney time and ends 5 p.m. Friday in New York, meaning you can trade 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. With Forex.com, you can trade on your laptop, mobile, or PC, whenever and meaning you can trade 24 hours a day, 5